Hello and welcome to Unity of Fredericksburg. My name is Andrea, and I am pleased to welcome all of you to the Unity of Fredericksburg weekly online gathering. At Unity of Fredericksburg, we are advancing the movement of spiritual awakening and transformation through unity, a positive path for spiritual living. We thank those of you watching on YouTube, live or later, and invite you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are able to attend live, we encourage you to join us in the Zoom community room for the full Sunday morning experience, including music, prayer, and connection. Our weekly newsletter includes the Sunday service link, and you can subscribe to receive that on our website at uofva.org. For everyone local to Central Virginia, Unity of Fredericksburg offers a variety of fun and enriching in-person gatherings every month. Subscribe to our weekly newsletter at uofva.org for all the details. Our message and meditation today come via video from Reverend Kathy Beasley. Reverend Kathy has worked for over a decade helping businesses and organizations determine how to succeed and helping employees from the break room to the boardroom understand how they fit into the big picture. Reverend Kathy is an avid blogger, out-of-the-box thinker, practical and public theologian, self-described digital evangelist, transformational leader, and author. Her writings can be found among those in the Unity Special Publications. And she serves as a member of the board of directors of the Unity Urban Ministerial School. Reverend Kathy and her family reside in Orlando, Florida, metropolitan area, where she serves as the Associate Minister of Unity of Central Florida and the Operations and Training Manager for the Unity Prayer Ministry, aka Silent Unity. And now, here's Reverend Kathy Beasley.
Hello, beloved, and welcome to Everyday Wisdom. I am Reverend Kathy Beasley, and it is my joy, honor, and privilege to be able to share with you a topic that is near and dear to my own heart. And a little bit about Everyday Wisdom comes out of my experience of life, where I have had an opportunity in my living to spend a good bit of time in school, in libraries, and reading and studying and writing. And I recently thought, how can I use the things that I know to help make a difference? The answer to that question showed up in what I now call everyday wisdom, which is more than just having been exposed to knowledge. I believe that it is in me the will to stir up the gift and apply it in a way that it stirs up the goodness and the gift within us all. During Everyday Wisdom, I will take a lighthearted look at various aspects of life in general. And it is my commitment to you to always keep it real. And when I keep it real, that means it's relatable, empowering, affirming, and loving. So let's take a look at today's episode of Everyday Wisdom, which is called Joy as Resistance, Finding Hope and Healing in Times of Struggle. So sometimes I find it hard to tap into joy, because joy was the thing that I struggled to reach for after a whole lot of life happened. And I started to wonder, what would it take for me to find joy in this life and make it more of a priority? I wanted to start with joy. I wanted that to be the place where I could jump off into life, rather than joy being that thing that I was trying to remember where I put it. Is it in the attic? Is it in the far corner of the closet behind the box that's marked too big, too small, and what was I thinking? Is it in the garage with the Christmas lights? Where do I keep this idea of joy in my life? So to guide me through this exploration, I have a few points. The first one is joy is a tool of resistance. Joy is the ultimate change agent. Joy is an inside job. And joy is a spiritual practice and you are a bringer of joy. So let's start at the top. Joy is a tool of resistance. When faced with life's stuff, no matter what we call it, how we name it, how we wrap it in an affirmation or a denial or a reality or something that we don't even have a name for. When we are faced with life stuff, we either need a way out or an anchor. We need a way to move forward or something that allows us to stay put. Joy has become my latest tool of resistance, and it is often an invitation to meet myself at the edge of suffering without feeling shame or guilt for experiencing moments of lightness and delight. And when I say that it is a tool of resistance, it means that there is something in life that I am going to deny, and joy is the vehicle whereby it will get me there. When I allow myself space for joy, even in moments of difficulty, that allows me to draw on the capacity for resilience and healing amidst the moments that take a lot of effort. You know those moments I'm talking about. It's the ones where we find ourselves and the first thought that we have is, I can't even. And so how do we get through those moments? In this episode of Everyday Wisdom, I will focus on finding joy when all else fails. I invite you to look towards joy and embrace it as one path toward thriving, despite life's headlines. I know, acknowledge, and I affirm that joy is always closer than we think. Joy being the ultimate change agent. Now, when I think of a change agent, my background in information technology, a change agent was a person who introduced the thing that was coming your way. They introduced it in a way that allowed it to be practical, that allowed it to be easy and loving and graceful. The change agent is the person that catches all the heat, because when we're in those moments where we don't want to change, we don't want to shift and grow, the change agent gets it first. And so if joy is that change agent in our lives, joy can provide what I call an uplifting counterbalance to the darkness of difficult times. It's a form of resistance, a practice of knowing, of being and loving in the world with our whole selves, even when it feels impossible. It's something to know that joy is more than a feeling, that it is an action and an intention. And joy does amazing work when we are willing to allow ourselves the moment to create the intention and the action of having meaningful connections with ourselves first. It always starts with us, and then it extends out into the world around us. You see, joy, it involves learning to appreciate our own vulnerabilities, celebrating our victories no matter how small, and picking each other up, even when discouragement looms. The fascinating and magical thing about joy that I've seen in my life is that joy can bloom in the barren places, no matter the season that makes up our current experiences. If we dare to approach it with an open heart, we can see that joy is indeed our ultimate change agent. And when we are willing to greet joy with an open heart and know that joy will take the heat and carry the load, we start to realize just how much joy is an inside job. Joy is, for some, a powerful emotion that can help transcend life's difficulties. And sometimes that transcendence is short-lived, but it's real. Joy, in essence, is an intrinsic part of who we are. It is a part of our connection to the divine, the one, the source, the one mind, the divine intelligence. Joy is that cable that connects us to the source of all that we know to be. Having joyful moments when we experience intentionality, we can experience the depth and we can feel a soulful reward that helps us recharge and restore our spirit during times of struggle. You know those moments that we didn't plan for, those moments where the doorbell rang before the telephone did, those moments. Joy helps us move through them gracefully. To cultivate joy during some of the challenging times in our lives, we get a chance to focus on the present moment. That's all. We don't have to go back to a week before last, or last year, or the point in our lives where we were taller, thinner, our hair was longer. We don't have to go back. We have to stay put. I mean it. Stay put. And when we can do this through prayer and contemplation, we can find the beauty in all the things that surround us. You see, I think that's one of the blessings of life, that it matters what we call it. While the world may call it struggles and challenges, I call it blessings and goodness, because somewhere in it is a blessing. Somewhere abounds is goodness. You see, joy doesn't have to be dramatically fleeting. Joy, in other words, joy doesn't always have to have her sneakers laced up tight and ready to run. Its presence, it reminds us of the power of possibility that is always, always available to us. And so this is how I learned to practice joy. And when I say practice, it's one of those repeatable things that you do. And we repeat it such that we learn it, we know it, and we can do it because it is a part of who we are, and we can do it with ease. It is easy for joy to get swept aside while trying to live our best lives and by engaging what I call the myth of the hustle. It's one of the best tools that we can use for self-care. I believe that self-care is as important as every other kind of care. But there is a tenderness to self-care because it is that which we provide to and for ourselves. Joy is at the helm of that transition from moment to moment. Joy can be cultivated through an active inner strength that can attract contentment. It is a practice of being rather than doing. I take time to practice joy in my own life by giving myself the opportunity to tap into what brings me joy and all of the feelings that brings and evokes and calls into being in my life. You see, joy requires us to acknowledge our present well-being and the blessings available to us now, no matter how small. I've had to get over the idea that joy and happiness are just akin to one another, and instead recognize it as the desire to capture those moments in my life that give the soul peace and comfort. See, joy is our friend, our companion on the journey. I find joy in moments of laughter, prayer, and tears, in the groove of my favorite jam, and sometimes when I'm out in nature. That I have learned that if we are just willing enough to put forth an effort, we will find that joy is right there waiting for us to remember who we are at our core. Often we can find joy just kind of going, hey, over here, come this way. Joy is there to support us in the living of this life. Now, joy is not just something that is single or solitary or done in isolation. Joy happens at a collective level because joy is so integral to our being, and its power to bring about a positive change shouldn't be underestimated. Joy gives us a level of buoyancy needed to traverse the unknown, and it allows us to look forward with renewed energy and courage. Renee Brown writes about the idea of foreboding joy. It is that theory of waiting for the other shoe to drop. In other words, I'm not going to get too happy about this because you know what's just around the corner. The reality is there's nothing around the corner that doesn't support us. To truly experience joy when we are in a communal setting and as we continue to move forward and allow those times of the pandemic to be in our rearview mirror, we move back into community. And in order to experience a communal sense of joy, we must experience an individual sense of joy. It is the thing that we bring to the village center and offer as a part of ourselves is our joy. We get a chance to take part in gatherings in a spiritual community and with family and friends, and even in a broader aspect of redemption and creation at work throughout our lives. We are creating more opportunities, beloved, for each person to experience joy at an individual and a communal level. The thing about joy is joy cannot be contained. It can't be measured. We can't stock up on it and keep some for later because joy overflows. It is an inexhaustible supply of that which keeps us alive, alert, and enthusiastic. I love joy because often joy sneaks upon me. I don't see her coming, and I just look up, and there she is in the smile of another person, in a photo memory that comes across my phone, in an email. Somewhere I find a sticky that I wrote that had a message that didn't mean much to me then, but sometimes at the right moment, I embrace it and engage it, and I find joy. And what I have found is that because joy emanates from within us, that allows us to be bringers of joy. Finding joy in our lives has never been more important. And it can be a powerful force that gives us the strength to carry on as we reconnect our shared humanity through moments that are powerful enough to change the world. Joy is an act of our individual and communal resistance against sorrow, despair, loneliness, lack, and all that are akin to those. This is why I believe that we are compelled during the holiday season to bring joy to the world. And if all of us brought a little more joy to the world, there would be a little more joy in the world. Now, how can we use joy as a tool for healing and for hope in our lives? I think that when we reflect on how joy can be a tool for healing and hope, it's important to remember that the wholeness of the body, the mind, and the spirit are so deeply intertwined. And when we practice true compassion for ourselves, it gives us the ability to practice the same for those around us. And the roots of compassion, beloved, the roots are joy, pure joy. It is when those moments when we allow ourselves to be embraced by its light, we're given strength on our journey towards realizing our own levels of wholeness. There's joy. Joy should always be a guide in times that feel like they are just too hard. Those I can't even moments and oh, you better not moments. Let there be joy. Because joy can lead us in remembering our own healing journey and provide us with a sense of hope to see every day after, to see it through. That's what joy does for us. Joy never sleeps or slumbers. Joy doesn't take a day off. Joy doesn't quit or give up. Joy is ever present as long as we are willing to pay attention. Because when we pay attention, we are letting the light shine into our lives and remind us of the activity of our own truth in that moment. You see, joy holds the spotlight and makes sure that it shines lovingly upon all of us all the time. So here are a few tips for finding joy in tough moments. Now, because I live in the real world, I have moments where I forget my truth. And I need a reminder, a bookmark of sorts that marks the elements of my own story that call me to my own attention as a powerful and beautiful creation that can express joy with ease. Sometimes I forget and I get caught up in whatever is going on around me. I get wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up in sometimes the stories of others. And I forget who I am. Well, it takes courage to turn back to the stories where our thinking was different. And I know the chapter, the verse, and the page number where everything shifted for my good. Because that was the moment that I claimed the truth of my own light and life. Joy marks that page. Joy leaves breadcrumbs and footprints that I can follow to always find my way when I forget. You see, when I take time to appreciate the beauty in everyday experiences, taking a note of the small wins, the brief sparks of joy in my day, I win. So always look back at your story, look back at your wins. Let all that you have been support all that you are. This is how joy helps us win the day. You see, we must learn to trust our own internal resources as well as those around us, because then we can recognize the power of joy that exists despite any challenges that we might face. We do this by courageously leaning into our own curiosity and exercising a resistance to challenge and trust. We resist anything that challenges our perspectives of trust. Joy helps us resist that which does not support us. You see, moments of joy can be uncovered for a time that's not yet. We can save up a little joy. Save it up for a moment that we might need it tomorrow morning. Save it up for all the Mondays, because it's easy to find on all the Fridays. But joy is always as available to us as our next breath. So the things that we want to take away and remember is joy is an effective tool of resistance to anything that does not support and lift up the joy that is within us. Joy is the ultimate change agent. Joy takes the heat for whatever is coming and that is being done and undone in us. Joy is an inside job. It always starts within us and flows outward into the world. Joy is a spiritual practice whose path takes us back always within, because it is from within that I have the strength, the courage to live and exist and breathe and love in the world around me. You are a bringer of joy, always. What's in you, you get to share and pour out into the world. So the next time that you start to feel overwhelmed by a moment at hand, remember to take a deep breath. And remember that it's okay to laugh and look for opportunities to enjoy those moments of simple pleasure in our life. Make your self-care a priority and remember that allowing joy to enter your life is an act of resistance to anything that is unlike the truth that you know, the truth that you know about you. Accept the moments of joy as they come and use them to move forward with a sense of courage and peace. With little effort, joy can be found even in the darkest moments because joy knows your name. Be generous with your joy. Be generous with your laughter and hold on to your hope. And trust yourself enough to find countless moments of joy. Trust yourself enough because you are worth it. You are worth it. Let's turn that into an affirmation and say it with me. I am worth it. Breathe that in. I am worth it. And so let's take that affirmation into just a few moments of meditation on all that we may be thinking and feeling in this moment. As we start to focus inwardly on the idea of cultivating joy. So I invite you to be more comfortable where you are. Allow the place where you are seated or standing or lying to be the physical representation of the universe supporting you in this moment. Whereas all you have to do is breathe. And in following our breath, relax your shoulders. Relax your belly. Relax your thighs. Allow yourself to sit back in a way that your head and shoulders sit directly over your hips, creating that straight plane, the spine. And if you are somewhere where you can safely close your eyes and feel into the connection in every point in your body, breathe in and out. And say to yourself, I am worth it. As we sit, we root and we notice the energy that we receive back from the earth and feel how the connection that is beneath you and around you helps you feel that much more fully awake and alive. That feeling is the sense of stimulation and movement that joy creates within us. It's almost electric. Remain connected to your body and the breath. And just stay focused on your body and your breath. Feel how your body somehow starts to breathe itself. Does it all the time. And soften into that feeling of gratitude for this body, this breath, this body, this breath. I'm grateful for you. And allow your heart to open and recognize all the ways that it functions and allows you to connect to the world. This body, this breath. I am worth it. Feel your heart open to the miracle that is always your breath. And give yourself a moment to be in gratitude for your body, for your open heart, and for the movement of the breath. It's amazing how the body breathes itself in and out all day long. Without our awareness, without our guidance, without our intervention, it just does what it does. That's how joy moves through us as frequently and as fluidly as a breath. Supporting life and connecting life is the work of joy in the body. Now release all the tension from your forehead, your shoulders, your belly, and your thighs. And just ever so slightly allow the corners of your mouth to turn upward and form a smile. Knowing that you are fully supported in body, mind, and in spirit by your breath, the movement, the fluidity of life flowing in and flowing out, and the subtle presence of that smile of yours, that smile that brightens a room. The source of that smile is your joy. Feel the feeling of knowing joy moves you forward. Joy moves me forward. I am a source of joy in the world. Joy brings me life. It moves in and out freely as I breathe. It connects me to that which is around me. Joy is available to me always. Joy flows to me right here, right now. Noticing the feeling. And we call it joy. We call it joy. We call it joy. So now I invite you to capture all that you need of that feeling, all that you need of that expression of a smile. All that you need, come back to this moment. Because you have gotten to know the presence of joy that resides in you. And the ease with which you can always turn towards joy. And notice who it is that you truly are as you return to your day. I release these words that they may do what they do, because they cannot ever return to me void, without purpose or significance. They can only return heaped up, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. For that I am grateful and thankful. Amen. Ashe, ashe, and so it is. I am Reverend Kathy Beasley, and joy as resistance, finding hope and healing in times of struggle, is a part of the Everyday Wisdom Speaker series. Know that I love you, and there's nothing, and I do mean nothing, that you can do about that. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for watching the weekly broadcast from Unity of Fredericksburg. Visit our website, uofva.org, to learn more about our mission of spiritual awakening and transformation, and support our ministry with your financial donation. Thanks again for